Hello everyone, quick review of day one for the 18-meter class in Perry a couple weeks ago. Uh, Today was a crummy day. It was completely blue, it was fairly weak. In fact, the 18-meter class is the only class that flew. No one else was able to get a day. I don't remember, perhaps we were the first to get off and launch on this particular day, and it was nothing to get excited about. Winner for the day, Doug Jacobs, 100 miles, 50.39 average. It was a 2-hour minimum time, and I'll show you what the task looked like. This is the start cylinder around 3. Here's Perry, a 10-mile radius around Don Bells, a 15-mile radius around Twin Lakes, and a 15-mile radius around Dry Swamp. You could see that nobody ventured too deep into Dry Swamp at all. So it's kind of a boring task to watch, so this won't take as long as the others. Roger Buchanan, I have to apologize. Roger had a good day, a 9th, 854 points. I was unable to use his IGC file. It had his first plot was in Australia, and that forced CU to load every map for the 3D view. So I'm not using him for today. He roughly flew the same general distance as Rob Ware. So if you're looking for what Roger did, they were in close proximity. So I guess we'll jump in. The wind today was out of the north. It looks like at about 6 to 10 miles per hour. So the first leg was up into the wind. There was a large lake here, and let me try and zoom in on it a little bit and see if we can see the lake. Do we have a different map, perhaps? Okay. Anyway, there's a large lake here. The idea was to... oh, I remember now. There's a large lake up in this area, and the wind was out of the north, so the concern was going too deep into the first turn area would cause potentially a lot of flat air, and that turned out to be the case. This is my first day, and I decided to push deep into the first turn. Went through a ton of sink and had to turn around and come back out of a ton of sink. Got stuck, and essentially that was the end of the day. I think I came back down to this highway and got back up and then worked back in with Tim Wells and with Pete Alexander. So we'll zoom in a little bit on the 2D. So altitude's not much above 3,000 feet. I flew dry today. I actually had an accident or a problem. I started filling my wings with water. It's the first time I'd filled a 29 with water, and the plugs on the inboard end were not installed. Wasn't aware of that little piece of information, so Tiffany and I had to spend an hour getting the water out, tearing out the floorboards of the interior, and cleaning everything up. So we were dry, but it probably didn't make a very big difference today. So everybody following Doug Jacobs. Surprise, surprise. You can see climb values of 1.7, 2 knots. Not a lot of lift out there. Still struggling below 4,000 feet. The flock following Doug. Poor Doug. 2,600 feet here, so everybody's definitely struggling. So not a lot going on. I think the CD and the group held the launch for quite a while the 18-meter task struggled along. And eventually the 18-meter class was released. The test advisor said that the day was fine. Huge gaggle there. Still no higher than 3,500 feet, and nobody's very anxious to start. And it looks like I've started with Sergey. Slow this down just a little. We're at 1,700 feet already. Incredibly weak day. Doug Jacobs down to 2,300 there into the first turn. Sergey and I got up to 33 and 34 respectively. Oh wait, where's Sergey? You're 34. Sergey's a little higher. Here comes a large pack. So there's the gang. Sort of as typical, it looks like today I was one of the lead-outs, and at this point here I'm at 2,500 feet on my own, and Sergey's angled a little bit to the west here, and I believe this is where I essentially go out into the sink and come back down below maybe 1,500 feet. So not bad, a 2.8 climb there. Was crazy to leave it in hindsight. Looks like Doug Jacobs and John Murray have left already, so here I had consistent sink here for quite a while, and turned to run downwind, AGL 1,000 feet here, and there was a little building here, like a quarry or cement plant, that I eventually worked to. So I get a little extra distance on the group here, but spend 20 minutes digging out from this area right here. Here comes the gang, including Bravo Bravo, John Cochran, Jersey, Pete Alexander, and Rob Ware. So I'm climbing up now out of 1,000 feet at 1.7 knots. Foxtrot Charlie, Shaq Roberts was isolated, and Kilo Mike on his own way back, started late it looks like. So at some point here, W3, Tim Wells joins Pete Alexander and I, and we basically fly together the rest of the task, which was a lot of fun. Now over here somewhere is Tango Alpha, who I saw on Flarm. Is that Tango Alpha? There's Tango Alpha. So he flew as deep as I did into the first turn and essentially catches up. So very good flying from Frank. So 2-knot climb, 1,300 feet. Here's Frank coming in from the middle at 3,000 feet, the middle of the first turn. So Tim Wells leading out. Jersey and Rob Ware way down the track, and Sergey and John Murray way down the track with Rob Ware. Or no, that must be Doug Jacobs. So there's Doug, Sergey, and John Murray flying together and turn in about the middle of the Twin Lakes turn area. Tim Wells gets a little low here. So Doug Jacobs, John Murray, and the pack get back up to almost 4,000 feet there. And we're a 3-knot climb for 7 Tango, 3.6 for Tim Wells from below, and 9.8 P. Alexander, 3.4. So it looks like we take this up quite a ways. So the wind's out of the north at 5 to 10 knots. So this group started behind me and just crushed into the middle of the turn. It looks like I make it to Twin Lakes eventually, but incredibly slowly. No, actually I turned there. Why is it drawing to the center? Oh well. So Jersey's still working deeper into this turn. So Jersey more than halfway in. Jersey wins the day. Or no, John Cocken wins the day. Jersey's third. This is really fun flying with these guys, spread abreast and searching for blue thermals together as a group. You can see the best performers seem to do that, with the exception of Jersey, who flew by himself and still managed to nearly win the day. Frank Painter, who I think had a great day, if I remember correctly. No, 5th. Not so good. So you can see how the pack works together. Everybody spreads out, and even though it was a few hundred yards over to Tim, we did it anyway. And unfortunately that thermal didn't work. But here he rolls us into 2.2 knots for 600 feet. So I had such a slow first and second leg that I'm late already at this point. If I look at my finish time, I finished in 2:08 and just touched the third turn. was down to 2,000 feet here, so struggling a little bit to get up. 2.3 knot climb for our group. John Cochrane catching back up. He probably sees us and going right for us. Funny how big the slant is at his altitude. He should probably be here. It'd be interesting to see if he connects. The Bravo Bravo does connect there with a 2 knot climb. Doug Jacobs, Sergey, Rob Ware, John Murray. Here comes Jersey. And Shaq Roberts is the yellow. And Kilo Mike here. John Murray turns around. Looks like he goes in about a fifth or a little less. So it looks like I just touch. No, I get a little climb, 1.8 knots. And off I go on final glide, pretty easy. W3 and Pete Alexander and John go a little farther. They must have started later. And John finishes in 2:03, so he started later, was able to go a little further. Pete Alexander was under, so he started much later. Doug Jacobs is a little thin there. He wins the day though with 2:01, so no need to go fast. He's right on the edge of being early. See Tim Wells and Pete Alexander went fairly deep into the first turn. John Cochrane coming back, Tim Wells, this is Jersey, and this is Frank Painter Tango Alpha. And this is Ken Sorensen here. He's still got to touch the third turn. Looks like John Cochrane needed a little climb to make it in. Pete Alexander. So this is just a weak blue day. We were lucky to get it in. I learned a good lesson of not going underneath that lake on the first leg. I think it cost me a significant amount of time for sure. And there you have it. So back to the scores. Again, Doug Jacobs wins the day with a 50 average, 101 miles. John Cochrane only 7 points behind with 102 miles. Jersey 107 with just under 50 miles per hour. Sergey, real tight top four. And then about a 100-point drop down to Frank Painter, John Murray, and Robert Shack. And then Rob Ware, Roger Buchanan, and Tim Wells. And then Ken Sorensen, myself, and Pete, who had a tough day there for sure. Let's take a look at Pete's flight real quick. So I'm going to stop it and play it. So Pete is this bright red, well, sort of a pink red color. Try and pick up his start. So Tim, he started a lot later than I did in that gaggle group. And he got stuck a little bit with me, lost his gaggle. And then flew in this pack with Whiskey 3, 7 Tango. And here we are entering the third turn. I climb out, touch, and return. Interesting. So he started quite a ways behind me. There I go back, and he just goes another mile or so and comes back. So, yeah, he finished just a little bit early. And I went a little deeper into the first turn. Let me stop here. So yeah, he went, there's mine, the red. So yeah, he just barely touched in here, barely touched in here, and barely touched in here. So that would answer that. And then let's look at Doug Jacobs real quick. Doug Jacobs did this. So other than Jersey, he went the furthest into this turn, the second turn. He didn't go very far into the first turn, but he went, another, this is a, whoops. This is a 15-mile radius, so call that, this track here, the red track is mine, so he went another, what's that, 12 miles than I did, and then just touched into the third. So, yeah, Jacobs did 100 miles, I did 87, so that'll do it. He got a little further in the second turn. So anyway, let's look at some analysis real quick. Whoops, wrong icon. So Doug Jacobs, winner of the day. Set up on the task. A 55 mean LD, 14 thermals. The average climb rate for the day was 2.2. And then I was nearly last on the day. So a 38 mean LD, 18 climbs, and an average climb rate of 2. And a 40 LD and 15 glides with an average climb rate of 1.8 for Pete. So this was a crummy day. It was an OLC task. It was random. I think if you had a good strong first leg, were with a pack, didn't get stuck here underneath the lake, and it looks like the fast guys did not do that. They didn't spend a lot of time there. You could have a good flight. But the difference between first, and 12th and 13th was basically 200 points or 20%, and being stuck for 15 or 20 minutes would do it. So there we go. I finished the review of all the 5 fights at Perry. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and see you at the next contest.